For thousands of years, the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom has held a sacred place in Indian society. The legacy continues to this day and will only intensify unabatedly in the future. After all, here is a country that produces 3 million college graduates every year and has, at any point in time, as many as 10 million young people. Against this backdrop, two issues deserve serious consideration. First, only 6% of all those interested in further studies go overseas. And second, there exists a strong desire to acquire a foreign qualification without having to travel and stay abroad. It naturally follows, therefore, that overseas universities and institutions have to be readily accessible to this huge Indian market for higher learning. Consequently, a logical path for foreign educators to follow would be to identify partners in India and collaborate with them by working together in the Indian market. Realizing that the education scenario in India is changing rapidly, the Federation of Jain Educational Institutions, FJEI, was set up with the objective of providing a network of like-minded trusts and other bodies wanting to join forces with overseas educational institutions. The FJEI has undertaken a mammoth task of conducting an in-depth research of the various institutions run by the Jain community in India, and wishes to place the findings of this study at the disposal of foreign academic bodies interested in tapping the potential in India. The founders of FJEI believe that an amalgamation of foreign and Indian strengths will only reinforce and intensify the local educational system. The genesis of FJEI lies in a much older organization that goes by the name Bharatiya Jain Sanghatna, BJS. The BJS has rendered yeoman service in the fields of disaster and calamity management and education for more than 20 years. Noteworthy among its achievements is the setting up of 350 schools in only 90 days in towns and villages devastated by earthquake in January 2001. Surely a record performance by any standard of measurement. India's Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee was among the many to recognize and appreciate the efforts of BJS. Earlier, in 1993, an earthquake killed thousands and orphaned several hundred children. The BJS moved 2,000 children to its headquarters in Pune and virtually gave them a new lease of life. During a recent visit he paid to this center, the President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, humane to the core and passionate about social service, was all praise at what the BJS was doing to ensure that learning and school activities did not suffer, no matter how calamitous the situation. The BJS soon realized that work in the field of education would be its mainstay, and hence, the FJEI was set up. The FJEI has taken up the responsibility of reorienting hundreds of educational institutions run by traditional trusts and to ensure that they are in tune with a fast-changing world. As many as 1,600 institutions have already placed their faith in FJEI's mission to project their strengths and achievements to the world at large. These 1,600 institutions are spread across the length and breadth of India, and some of them enjoy a tradition of 150 years of service to society. 3 of these are deemed universities. Others are affiliated to nationally accredited universities. Graduate and undergraduate courses offered by these institutions cover a very broad spectrum. Architecture to Ayurveda, computer science to cosmology, engineering to English literature, humanities to homeopathy, Indology to international trade. In fact, virtually any course of interest to the Western academic world. For more than 100 years, English has been the accepted medium of instruction for higher learning in India. the quality and standard of teaching compares favorably with international norms, and this is amply borne out by the number of Indian scholars who have made a name for themselves in both academics and industry abroad. The core offering of FJEI is to provide turnkey solutions to overseas universities, schools, and other centers of higher learning that are interested in tying up with any of the 1,600 institutions under its umbrella. Services will be tailored to suit clients' needs. FJEI has sought the help of Ernst & Young, the world's second-largest business consulting firm, to chart out its roadmap, along with milestones to be achieved in the future. Guiding the destiny of FJEI, its member institutions, and overseas partners is a galaxy of stalwarts who have made a name for themselves in world affairs. Dr. L.M. Singhvi, former High Commissioner to the UK and former Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Government of India. Dr. D.R. Mehta, former Deputy Governor of India's Federal Bank, Reserve Bank of India, and Dr. N.P. Jain, former Ambassador to the United Nations, the European Union, Mexico, and Nepal, to name a few. Start a dialogue today with FJEI and discover how you and your institution can benefit by entering into a partnership with one or more of FJEI's affiliates. Discover how you can tap the world's most rapidly growing education markets, thanks to India's becoming a signatory to the General Agreement on Trade and Services, GATS. Please address your communication to Federation of Jain Educational Institutes,